Good morning, students. Welcome to class 9th. We were dealing with chapter 1. Okay? So now we'll continue with our chapter. Chapter 1, we were on the topic of evaporation. Evaporation से हम क्या समझते हैं ये हमने डिस्कस किया था. Formation of liquid into gaseous state below boiling point. Now I would start this class with the difference between evaporation and boiling. We'll see the difference in evaporation and boiling. The difference between evaporation and boiling. So evaporation is basically, the first point of difference is, it is a surface phenomenon. Evaporation is a surface phenomenon, whereas boiling is a bulk phenomena. Okay? So evaporation is a surface phenomena. Evaporation takes place on the surface. Evaporation कहाँ होती है? Surface molecules जब vaporize हो जाते हैं उसको बोलते हैं evaporation. So I have written evaporation is a surface phenomena. But ये boiling, bulk का क्या मतलब है यहाँ? Bulk phenomena, bulk मतलब complete volume of liquid heat होता है. Evaporation में क्या हो रहा है? मैंने यहाँ एक बीकर ले लिया जिसमें मैंने वाटर फिल कर दिया. अब जब कुछ टाइम बाद हम देखेंगे तो कौन से मॉलिक्यूल्स इवेपोरेट होते हैं? जो टॉप सरफेस पर प्रेजेंट है ये मॉलिक्यूल्स शो करते हैं इवेपोरेशन, ना कि जो नीचे या बीच में इन बिटवीन या डेप्थ में मॉलिक्यूल्स हैं उनका कोई इवेपोरेशन नहीं होता. इवेपोरेशन केवल सरफेस मॉलिक्यूल्स का होता है, तो इसीलिए लिखा है इवेपोरेशन इज़ अ सरफेस फिनोमिना. जबकि बॉइलिंग का क्या है? अगर आप एक वाटर से भरा हुआ बीकर लेंगे, उसको बॉयल कर दो. बॉइलिंग का मतलब 100 डिग्री टेम्परेचर तक हीट कर दिया. ठीक है, तो अब क्या होगा? अगर मैं उसमें हाथ डालूँ तो ये थोड़ी होगा कि बस मैंने उसमें अपना हाथ डाला, केवल सरफेस से मुझे गर्म लग रहा है जहाँ वाटर का सरफेस है, बाकी नीचे से ठंडा है. नो, ये एक्टिविटी करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. पर हमें पता है बॉइलिंग में पूरा लिक्विड गर्म होता है. बॉइल्ड वाटर मीन्स एक ग्लास में आपने किसी को बॉइल्ड वाटर दिया है. व्हाट डज दिस मीन्स? इट शोज दैट द लिक्विड इज कंप्लीटली हीटेड अप. ग्लास के जो ऊपर वाले मॉलिक्यूल्स होंगे वो भी बॉइल्ड हैं और नीचे या इन बिटवीन जितने मॉलिक्यूल्स हैं सबका टेम्परेचर 100 डिग्री सेल्सियस है. सो दिस इज बॉइलिंग. बॉइलिंग इन्वॉल्व्स होल ऑफ द वॉल्यूम, पूरी वॉल्यूम को इन्वॉल्व कर रहा है. इसीलिए हम कह रहे हैं इट इज़ अ बल्क फिनोमिनन, वेयर एज इवेपोरेशन केवल सरफेस को इन्वॉल्व कर रहा है. सो इवेपोरेशन इज सरफेस फिनोमिनन. द नेक्स्ट पॉइंट ऑफ डिफरेंस इज evaporation. The temperature at which evaporations occur, the temperature is below the boiling point. This temperature is below boiling point. So remember everyone, always evaporation occurs below the boiling point of the given liquid, whereas boiling occurs at a definite temperature. It requires a definite temperature. If evaporation phenomenon does not require a particular or fixed temperature. No fixed temperature is required in evaporation, whereas in boiling a definite value of temperature is required, and this temperature where a liquid converts into vapors at boiling point is called boiling point. We saw in the last class the definition of boiling point, its various parameters. So boiling point is a definite temperature at which a liquid changes to vapors at atmospheric pressure. So this was all the difference between evaporation and boiling. Now what we'll see, the mechanism of evaporation. Actually, how does the process of evaporation occurs? So we'll be dealing with mechanism of evaporation. That is the concept behind evaporation. Evaporation phenomenon is a surface phenomenon. Surface के molecules evaporate हो रहे हैं. This requires temperature below boiling point. सब समझ में आया? अब ये mechanism evaporation का क्या है समझाने के लिए हम एक एक्टिविटी करते हैं. एक बीकर लेते हैं, इसमें हम वाटर मॉलिक्यूल और वाटर भर दिया हमने. ओके, a particular quantity of water is filled in this beaker. Now what we'll observe is the molecule present in the vicinity or between, not at the top, not at the complete bottom, the molecule present between depth of the liquid, it experiences force from all direction. What kind of force is it? This force, what force is it experiencing? When I told you about states of matter and a comparative account, we dealt with a point, that is forces of attraction. More precisely, it was intermolecular forces of attraction. The forces of attraction present between two molecules, and we know that in solids the intermolecular forces are highest, that is two solid particles are completely close together, while in liquids the forces are somewhat moderate compared to solid. So we know that liquid molecules are attracted by forces. So on this particle, इसको कहाँ कहाँ से force लगेगा? From upwards, downwards, sideways, diagonally sideways, everywhere. It is experiencing force from all the nearby molecules or atoms. But the particle present on the surface, it is experiencing only the sideways or downward force. So the amount of force is less on the particle compared to the particle which is present in the bottom. So what we can say, that this particle has low forces as compared to the forces present in the between particles. So when we give a certain amount of energy, this energy is received from the environment or from the surface in contact, or we can say from the sunlight. If we keep this water-filled beaker in the sunlight near the windows or on the roof, what we observe, that it gets energy from the sunlight. This energy is basically light or heat energy, and this light or heat energy is responsible for what? It is responsible for increasing the temperature, and temperature increases, then the kinetic energy of molecules increase. On increasing the energy, the kinetic energy of the particles of the matter increase, and kinetic energy बढ़ने से their speed of vibration increase, and once their speed of vibration increase, they move away from each other, and so the interconversion of states occur. जब किसी पार्टिकल को एनर्जी दी जाती है तो उसकी काइनेटिक एनर्जी बढ़ती है. एक्सटर्नल सोर्स से आप एनर्जी दे रहे हो, इस एनर्जी को पार्टिकल यूज करेगा एज इट्स काइनेटिक एनर्जी. काइनेटिक एनर्जी, एनर्जी एसोसिएटेड विद मोशन ऑफ पार्टिकल. काइनेटिक एनर्जी से ये पार्टिकल फास्ट स्पीड से वाइब्रेट होने लगेगा. वी सॉ दैट सॉलिड में सारे पार्टिकल जिगजैग मोशन शो करते हैं. सब सारे मैटर्स में स्पीड अलग अलग होती है, सॉलिड में केवल वाइब्रेट करते हैं, है ना, अबाउट देयर मीन पोजीशन, द टू एंड फ्रो मोशन. लिक्विड्स में थोड़ी फास्ट स्पीड से साइडवेज भी मूवमेंट होता है, बट गैसेस में बिल्कुल रैंडम बहुत फास्ट स्पीड से मूवमेंट होता है. ये जो एक्सटर्नल सोर्स से एनर्जी दी है, ये जो हमने एनर्जी प्रोवाइड की एक्सटर्नल सोर्स से, ये एनर्जी किस काम आएगी? ये एनर्जी फोर्सेस ऑफ अट्रैक्शन को ओवरकम करने के काम आएगी. ये जो फोर्सेस लग रहे हैं इनको ओवरकम कर देगी, ब्रेक कर देगी. ये एनर्जी इतनी सफिशिएंट नहीं है कि इन सारे फोर्सेस को ओवरकम कर पाए. दिस एनर्जी इज ओनली सफिशिएंट टू ब्रेक सम ऑफ द कनेक्टिंग लिंक्स और सम ऑफ द फोर्सेस. So this particle receive maximum of the energy because it is present at the top. So maximum energy is received by this particle. नीचे तक तो इतनी energy पहुँचती भी नहीं है. Okay. Then ये particle को जब maximum energy मिलती है तो this energy cuts off all the forces of attraction. This energy breaks off. This energy breaks all these forces of attraction, and as a result, the speed of particle increases. The speed of vibration increases. जब एक्सटर्नल सोर्स से एनर्जी दी, पार्टिकल की काइनेटिक एनर्जी इंक्रीज हो जाएगी तो वाइब्रेशन की स्पीड इंक्रीज हो जाएगी. वाइब्रेशन की स्पीड इंक्रीज होने से ये एक दूसरे से दूर मूव करने लगेंगे, जिनके कारण इनका डिस्टेंस जो होगा, इंटरमॉलिक्यूलर डिस्टेंस बिटवीन पार्टिकल्स, वो इंक्रीज हो जाएगा, एंड इवेंचुअली दीज पार्टिकल्स विल बी कन्वर्टेड टू गैसियस स्टेट. सो वी सी दैट ये पार्टिकल्स काइनेटिक एनर्जी बढ़ने से गैसियस स्टेट में कन्वर्ट हो गए, एंड दिस गैसियस स्टेट में वाटर वेपर्स की फॉर्म में दे आर रिलीज्ड अबाउट इन द एनवायरमेंट. सो दिस वॉज ऑल अबाउट द मैकेनिज्म ऑफ इवेपोरेशन. Should I repeat this? I am repeating it once more. When you provide energy from an external source, बाहर से सनलाइट के फॉर्म में आपने एनर्जी दी, ये सनलाइट की फॉर्म की जो एनर्जी है, ये सबसे पहली बात है जो टॉप पे पार्टिकल्स प्रेजेंट है केवल उनको मिलेगी। जब इनको ये एनर्जी मिलती है तो इनके जो अट्रैक्शन फोर्सेस है ये एनर्जी इनको ब्रेक कर देती है, तो ये इन पार्टिकल्स की काइनेटिक एनर्जी बढ़ जाती है। काइनेटिक एनर्जी बढ़ने के कारण ये वाइब्रेशन फास्ट स्पीड से करने लग जाते हैं और इस फास्ट स्पीड के कारण ये आपस में दूर हो जाते हैं, इनके बीच का इंटर मॉलिक्यूलर डिस्टेंस इंक्रीज हो जाता है और ये लिक्विड से गैसियस स्टेट में कन्वर्ट हो जाते हैं। सो दिस वाज ऑल अबाउट मैकेनिज्म ऑफ इवेपोरेशन। नाउ नेक्स्ट वील डिस्कस द फैक्टर्स अफेक्टिंग द रेट ऑफ इवेपोरेशन। We'll discuss the factors affecting the rate of evaporation. The first factor here is temperature. We say that temperature is directly proportional to rate of evaporation. Temperature is directly proportional to rate of evaporation. This means that directly proportional का sign का मतलब है when you increase the temperature, the rate of evaporation will also increase, and if you decrease the temperature, the rate of evaporation would decrease. Directly proportional symbolizes on increasing one quantity, the other quantity which is directly related also increases, and on decreasing one quantity, the other quantity also decreases. This is called directly proportional. So on increasing the temperature, evaporation increase and vice versa. Why is it so? As we saw earlier, on giving temperature, the molecules possess greater kinetic energy. Because of greater kinetic energy, they vibrate with a faster speed, and this speed of vibration moves them away from each other. That is, the intermolecular distance increases, and they show transition to gaseous state. So gaseous state means evaporate हो जाते हैं. The next what we'll discuss, the next what we have to discuss, the second factor, it is wind speed. And wind speed is also directly proportional to rate of evaporation, or we can say evaporation is directly proportional to wind speed. Why is it so? Why the clothes dry up earlier, है ना, on a windy day? Because wind speed causes the rate of evaporation to become high, and as a result the clothes dry up faster. How? Why is it so? Wind speed, if I put a wet cloth here, the amount of water vapor present in the surroundings, let's suppose 10 molecules of water vapors are present. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. 10 molecules are present. Due to wind speed, when wind will blow, it would carry these water molecules away from the air, है ना, to the next region, to the adjacent place. Now this air is having less number of water molecules. What wind will do? Wind will carry these water vapors away from that place, and now due to evaporation, the water vapors present in the water present in the clothes will evaporate to the surroundings, and it would occupy that place. Now again when wind will blow, it would carry these molecules away. Then the air has less moisture content, so the molecules will further move into the surrounding air easily. So this was all about wind speed. That increase in wind speed causes a rate of evaporation to increase. Okay? Then the third factor what we will discuss is humidity. You know wind speed and humidity are one opposite in each other, reverse of one another. Then humidity, how humidity affects the rate of evaporation. Humidity is inversely proportional to the rate of evaporation. Why we say so? Why? We'll see that during evaporation में the water needs space in the air to evaporate. And humidity means already the space in the surrounding air is occupied by water. Already जब nearby air में environment में water vapors present है, then the molecules in the cloth or something will not get the space to go into the air. So on increasing humidity, evaporation decreases. This is the symbol of inversely proportional. this symbol 1 upon evaporation. It means on increasing humidity, evaporation rate decreases, and on decreasing humidity, evaporation rate increases. So the factors are temperature, wind speed, humidity. Now one more factor is there, it is surface area. The last factor on which evaporation rate depends is surface area. Surface area का मतलब है the larger the surface area, the more is the rate of evaporation. Why? Evaporation, as we saw in the differences, it is a surface phenomena. तो surface phenomena मतलब जितने molecule surface पर हैं केवल वो evaporate करेंगे. If you take a glass of water, okay, the molecules on the glass is, let's suppose, 5. If you take a large bowl of water, the surface area of bowl, the top surface area is quite larger. So there are more molecules which are present on the surface, and when surface area increases, the number of molecules present on the surface also increases. When the number of molecules will increase, then maximum, what is the possibility? How many molecules will evaporate? From here, only these 5 molecules can show evaporation in the environment. While in these, all these molecules can show evaporation. So the rate of evaporation is directly proportional to surface area. So I can here write that surface area is directly proportional to rate of evaporation. More is the surface area of molecule. Larger molecules are available on the surface, not larger, more number of molecules are available, so they would evaporate into the environment and thus cause faster evaporation. So this was all about the factors affecting evaporation and the basic difference between boiling and evaporation. Now what we'll see is, a topic. It is also important. It is, how does evaporation cause cooling? Evaporation causes cooling. Okay, evaporate हो जाती है, evaporation process से how we feel cooling. We'll study it with 3 examples. First one is acetone. Acetone is nail polish remover. In chemistry it is called acetone. So this acetone, when we pour acetone on our hand, let's suppose I am pouring 1 drop of acetone on my palm. The drop of acetone derives all the heat from my palm and it gets evaporated. I am repeating it. I am taking a drop of acetone. एक drop acetone जब हमने हमारे palm पर डाला, hands पर डाला, what we observe in 2 to 3 seconds, that this drop of acetone which I poured on my palm, it will absorb all the body heat from my palm and it would evaporate. So, and my palm will feel cold. Okay. So acetone, let's suppose this is a surface or this is our hand. When a drop of acetone is poured, what does this drop do? This drop takes up the body heat from our palm and it gets evaporated. And it evaporates in the environment. It converts into vapor. And here, as this drop of acetone absorbs all the body heat, then our palm feels cold. जब एसीटोन की ड्रॉप डालेंगे तो ये हमारी पाम की बॉडी हीट एब्जॉर्ब करके इवेपोरेट हो जाएगी एंड आवर पाम फील्स कोल्ड. So this is a question asked, why does a drop of acetone, if you put a drop of acetone on your palm, it feels cold? Why? Is acetone cold? No. It is because acetone is taking out, or acetone is absorbing all your body heat from the palm and it is evaporating, leaving the palm cold. I hope you understood this example. Now, the next example what we'll discuss, that sprinkling, this was the first. Second example is sprinkling water on the roof. Sprinkling water on the roof. This is a common example. It was a common practice which was observed. Now, what we do, when we sprinkle water on our roofs or on the ground, this water takes up or absorbs all the heat energy from the ground, thus evaporating and making the surface or the ground cold. So, sprinkling water on the roof produces a cooling effect. So, this is a perfect example of evaporation causes cooling. Next is another common example, that is if you take out a ice cold water bottle from a fridge and you put it on a table under room temperature, what do you observe after some time? After some time you observe that water droplets occur on the surface of the bottle. Water droplets come on the surface. Why does it so? Why the water droplets come on the surface of bottle? The simplest example, that is formation of water droplets on the surface of object. Formation of water droplets on the surface of object, which is, or I can write ice cold object, which has just been taken to a very low temperature, that is we are taking a bottle out of a fridge. If it is ice cold, after some time you will see water droplets. Why this is so? Because I'll explain it with a rough diagram or a rough sketch. Let's see. We take a container or a water bottle. It is filled with ice cold water. This contains ice cold water. On taking it out, the air particles or the water droplets present in the air, okay, water vapors or the moisture humidity content present in the air, when these particles come in contact with this ice cold surface, when the moisture or water vapor drops from the air come in contact with this ice cold surface, what will happen? We have read that when the ice cold water vapors, when the vapors come in contact with the ice cold surface, that is gases, we are decreasing their temperature. On decreasing the temperature of gases, their kinetic energy would decrease. That is, they would come closer to each other and convert into liquid. एक क्वेश्चन भी दिया हुआ है आपकी बुक्स में, what is the method to liquefy gases? Liquefy gases के लिए क्या टेक्निक, क्या मेथड यूज करें? The simple answer to this question is, to liquefy any gases, you take gas. How can we convert this gas into liquid? We can decrease its temperature and increase its pressure. Temperature decrease करने से क्या होगा? The kinetic energy of the particles will decrease. When kinetic energy will decrease, their vibration will slow down. When their vibration slows down, they come near to each other. That is, the intermolecular distance would decrease and the gaseous state would show conversion to liquid state. Increasing pressure. How can we increase pressure to convert gas to liquid? By increasing pressure, we saw in that comparative account of solid liquid gas that increasing in pressure causes compression of the gas. Gases molecules are no doubt very far away from each other. When pressure is increased, these molecules come near to each other or closer to each other. And when these molecules come closer, they become liquid. So the process to liquefy gases is increasing the temperature, decreasing the temperature and increasing the pressure. So here also what we were explaining, I have kept an ice cold water bottle out of the fridge. Now in the surrounding air, जितने भी humidity या water vapors present है, when they would come in contact with this ice cold surface, then their temperature would decrease, and once their temperature decrease, this water vapor or this moisture will form droplets of water on the outer surface of bottle. So this is the concept behind evaporation causes cooling. I hope you got all the examples, you got a better explanation for this. Now what's remaining is in your books is just the two states of matter. We have discussed till now that matter exists in three forms, that is solid, liquid and gases. But later two more states of matter were discovered. It was plasma and BEC, Bose-Einstein condensate. So now we'll take a quick look at these. Now we are discussing the states of matter. We have discussed that matter exists in three states, solid, liquid and gases. Solids, liquid and gases. We have done their properties also. We have seen a comparative account. Then we have seen the interconversion of states, how to convert a solid into liquid, liquid to gas. What is the process when a solid directly converts into gases? What was the process? It was quite interesting. When a solid directly converts to gas without converting into liquid, or a gas directly converts into a solid. It was known as sublimation. Correct. Can you give me any example of sublimation? We discussed sublimation process and there are many examples. I also told you some day-to-day daily life examples. Yes, naphthalene balls, camphor. These were the examples of sublimation. So, matter contains three states which we read earlier. It was solid, liquid and gas. Now we are dealing with two more states. That is, in this chapter, at the end, we'll study a total of 5 states of matter. 3 states were solid, liquid and gas. The 4th state and the 5th state we'll deal with now. The 4th state of matter. The 4th state of matter is called plasma. So, we are basically dealing with plasma. Everything about plasma, I'll write it up, okay? And iske saath hi I'll explain it to you. So, now we are dealing with the 4th state of matter, that is plasma. So, plasma is the 4th state of matter. Research proved that 99% of the matter present in whole universe is plasma. 99% of the total matter present in the universe is in the state of plasma. 99% of matter present in universe is in plasma state. This is evidently proved by a research. Next point would be, plasma contains what? What is the plasma state? How the particles are arranged in plasma state? So, plasma contains ionized gases. The plasma contains ionized gases and free electrons. So, plasma is the 4th state and it contains ionized gases and free electrons. Then plasma is also known as high energy state or highly energetic state of matter. Plasma is also called highly energetic state of matter. Then some more points are there. The formation of plasma requires extremely high temperature. For plasma to sustain, extremely high temperature is required. So, plasma requires extremely high temperature up to certain 1000 degrees. Plasma requires very high, that is up to certain 1000 degrees. The next point would be, for example, or I should write, plasma state produces objects to glow. Plasma produces the objects to glow. Okay. For example, the examples of plasma are the common CFL. CFL we all used in our homes. CFL is called compact fluorescent lamps. CFL means compact fluorescent lamps. Okay, the next example is FL, that is fluorescent lamps. Then neon signboards, NEON, neon signboards. Some natural examples of plasma are also there, that is sun. You all know sun glows. Sun exists in which state? Plasma state. We call that everything in the universe is matter, and it could exist in 3 states, solid, liquid and gas. But after research, 2 more states were found. They were plasma and Bose-Einstein condensate. We are discussing plasma here. So plasma के examples में आता है CFL. CFL lights we use daily in our homes. It is called compact fluorescent lamp. Other examples are fluorescent lamps, neon signboards, sun. Then the natural example is stars, sun and stars, or aurora borealis. Aurora borealis is also an example, okay, of plasma. Aurora borealis is a geographical phenomena. It is also called northern lights. And I think this you have read very commonly in your geography SST books. So these are some examples of plasma. This was all about plasma. Now I would also like to tell mechanism of plasma. That is what occurs. We know that, let's take an example of sun and try to examine what does the process of plasma occurs. Then this is a sun. Sun is filled with different types of gases, and you know the temperature of sun is 10,000 to 15,000 degrees centigrade. Temperature of sun is extremely high. So at this high temperature, what occurs? At high temperature, the gases become ionized. The gases becomes ionized. Ionized term means the gases convert into ions and they release out free electrons. Let's suppose there is a gas A. Then this gas A converts into A plus, that it converts into its cationic form and releases electron. In turn, all the different gases A, B, C present, they release many electrons, that is 1, 2, 3 and many more electrons, and convert into ionized form. These are the ionized form of gases and these are the electrons released. So these gases on reaching high temperature get ionized and form a ionized gas plus electrons. And this state of ionized gas is responsible for the production of glow. The sun shines very brightly or the sun glows. What is the reason? Because of the presence of ionized forms of gases. The sun glows or shines. Similar phenomena is with the CFL. In our CFL compact lens, compact fluorescent lamp tubes, gases are filled. These gases, when we on the current, on passing the current, these gases get ionized, they release electron and the CFL glows. Also, they require high temperature. So during the phenomena of glowing, high heat energy is released. इसीलिए CFL, when we turn it for some time, a hour or two, then after some time it gets hot. You cannot touch the bulb with your hand, okay? Because it is an exothermic process. This was whole of account of plasma. Now we are discussing the last state of matter which we have to study. That is the fifth state. What is the fifth state called? It is called BEC. Now we have to discuss BEC. BEC stands for Bose-Einstein condensate. The first point here is BEC. It is named on the name of two physicists and it is called Bose-Einstein condensate. Now what happens in this state? In this state, this was firstly observed in 1920. This state was firstly observed in 1920 by two physicists. One was Indian physicist Satyendra Nath Bose. One was Satyendra Nath Bose. And the other physicist you are well aware of, Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein. So, Satyendra Nath Bose and Albert Einstein in 1920 did some calculations or research and they found a new state of matter. So, this state is named after them as they found firstly, because this state was found by two scientists. These are actually the physicist Satyendra Nath Bose. So, it was named Satyendra Nath Bose, Bose-Einstein condensate. Condensate means in this state the atoms are grouped together and they form a large atom. So it is called condensate. Okay. In 2001, three scientists which belong to USA did some more calculations and experimentally observed this BEC state. So they were provided with a Nobel Prize in Physics. They got a Nobel Prize in Physics in 2001 for the discovery of BEC, Bose-Einstein condensate state. for the experimental discovery. And these three scientists were Cornell, or full name was Eric A. Cornell, Cottrell, and Wieman. These three scientists of USA discovered or proved experimentally the verification of BEC, Bose-Einstein condensate. So they got a Nobel Prize in which subject? In physics, for the discovery of BEC. Then what do you understand by BEC? Like in plasma, we saw that it is a mixture of highly ionized gas, and these ionized gas produce the substance to glow or shine. So where does BEC exist? BEC exists as, how to obtain BEC? How did these scientists obtain the BEC, Bose-Einstein condensate? So these three scientists, what they did, they took the gases of very low density. They selected some gases which had really very low density. Low density gases. The low density was approximately 1,000th of density of air. Such low density gases they took, or they took the gases and decreased their density to 1/1000 of air. Now what they did, they cooled these gases. They took low density gases and then they cooled the gases. At till what temperature? They cooled it to absolute zero temperatures. Absolute zero temperature. I hope you all know what do you mean by absolute zero. No problem, I'll tell. Absolute zero means 0 Kelvin temperature, or in degree centigrade it means minus 273 degree centigrade. So these three scientists took low density, extremely low density gases, and then they cooled them to absolute zero temperatures. Absolute zero temperature signifies 0 Kelvin or minus 273 degree centigrade temperature. After cooling, what do they observe? They observed that the atoms or molecules of the gases, it stopped the vibration, or the vibrations were ceased. What did they observe? They observed three things. First, they observed the ceased motion. Ceased motion means, what does ceased? Means the motion, the vibration motion of the particles stopped. They completely stopped. They got fixed in their position. Due to this ceased motion, they also observed that the distance between the atoms, distance between the molecules or atoms decreased. Distance between the atoms decreased to an extent that the atoms, without being separated, they formed a clumped atom. Clumping was observed. So, when they took low density gases and cooled these gases to absolute zero temperature, absolute zero temperature signifies 0 Kelvin temperature or minus 273 degrees centigrade. Then they observed that the particles of the gases stopped their vibration, they came together and formed a giant atom. So they observed clumping. And due to this clumping, a large atom was formed and they called it a superatom. This clumping formed a giant atom or large size atom which was known as superatom. So this is about BEC, that is condensate. I told you earlier, condensate means a giant form of a molecule. So due to the temperature, obtaining the temperature absolute zero, they observed clumping of the atoms and formation of superatoms. So this BEC is commonly also known as supercooled bodies. It is also referred as supercooled bodies because BEC, Bose-Einstein condensate state, is obtained only at absolute zero temperatures or very low temperatures. Examples of BEC can be examples of BEC. One example of BEC is superfluid. Superfluid. Superfluid is nothing, it is liquid helium when liquid helium is cooled to extremely low temperature, that is absolute zero temperature, then it exists in the form of Bose-Einstein condensate. So liquid helium, that is called superfluid, is an example of BEC. So now we have done all the topics related to these chapter. In this unit, we discussed what do you mean by matter, the different properties of matter and their experimental verification. Then we did a comparative account between the states of matter. कौन सी states थी? Solid, liquid and gas. Then we discussed two more states of matter, that is plasma and BEC, Bose-Einstein condensate. I hope you got the chapter. In between, we also discussed what do you mean by boiling, what do you mean by evaporation, how boiling and evaporation differ from each other. Then we saw some factors on which the rate of evaporation depends. Okay. Then we explained the mechanism of evaporation, how does evaporation occurs. And at last we saw these two states. So I hope you are clear with the chapter, you know all the concepts. Now I require you to do all the NCERT and in-text questions given in your CBSE books. Thank you everyone for joining.